Hello everybody, welcome to episode 5 of creating your own MMORPG in Minecraft using paper. This time we're going to be making custom items and a give command for those custom items. So let's get started. First off, I just want you to add the Gradle.properties and git ignore if you're going to have this on GitHub. Also, the code is going to be published on GitHub, so you can check it out there. Next, we are going to make a directory or a package, I guess, and we're going to call it item. In there, we're going to make a new Java class. We're going to call it custom item. There we go. Yes, add it to Git. What we want in there, let's do a getter and make it a private item stack. So how the custom item is going to work is basically it's going to be just the persistent data in a regular item, which you're going to see by this next function that is going to be registering the custom item. Register custom item. Instead of custom item, it's going to take in string for the name and then an item stack. Now, what we need is also a custom item manager. And here we just want some very simple stuff. It's going to be a private static final map that's going to be namespace key and a custom item. So this is basically going to be an item registry. That's what we're going to call it. So this registry, what it's going to do is the custom item is actually going to be initialized only once, and it's going to be in this registry. This is the second part of registering a custom item. Register item. Item registry is going to put the singular instance of the custom item into the registry. So you're supposed to have the custom item here, which you're going to call this from here, this function. So let's create that function quickly. Let's call it just item. This is going to get long. And data container, we're gonna do something like this. There we go. So the most of the function is gonna be in here. We're gonna do persistent data container set, and instead of item over here, it's going to be persistent data type boolean true, and instead of name over here, it's gonna be custom item. So this is going to be basically a flag that we can check if the item is a custom item made by our plugin. Item.get item meta display name not equal to null. Okay, so what we want to do now is call the set function again. Let's do new namespace key. Instead of display name, let's call it custom item name. There we go. And we're gonna do a JSON content serializer, JSON.serialize, and we're gonna do the display name. Something I found frustrating is, as you can see, it says might be null, even though we literally check. So the next, we want to do another if. It's going to be item, get item meta dot lore. There we go. Everybody knows what I want. Sure, custom item lore. And instead of this, here we can do a list of a string. Yeah, there we go. Instead of this, we're just going to initialize a new array list. There we go, something like this. And we're going to do a for loop of components. And those components are going to be all of the components in the lore. And then we're just going to, serialize them and put them into the list of strings. And then we can serialize this whole thing. But we're going to do new type token. And it's going to be a list of strings. And we're going to get that. So this is just ensuring that it is properly saved. We just want to add another thing. So custom item. So we're going to initialize the one and only custom item. We're going to give it the item stack. And we're going to register it in the custom item manager. There we go. We can also make a function. We won't be using it today. We can make a custom command. Would be nice to have it. There we go. Extends base command, of course. There we go. We're gonna do default. So this is gonna be the default function. We're gonna set syntax. It's gonna be just item. and command completion. So this is an interesting part. You're gonna see. Let's for now put this to be add custom items. We want the parameters to be not null, command sender. There we go. Sender, we want it to be name custom item, so that's gonna be the parameter that we want. Of course, not null. He needs to mention what to give. And then namespace key custom item. There we go. So we're gonna do player dot give custom item manager. So this is good for giving custom items. Get item registry, get custom item, of course, get item stack. This is good for giving the player just a default item, and then we're gonna return true. Now, what else we want to do is let's go to the player. So something that I don't like is this. Let's make it uppercase, because the UUID is an acronym. What that means in the plugins in your folder, you will have to change this because it will usually be this. You should change it to UUID uppercase. That's basically the only change. And also, to make it more appealing, we're gonna do a getter and a setter and make all of this private. I found an issue and we're gonna get UUID, and that's about it. Okay, now let's register the command and the listeners in here. Command manager, and this is the interesting part. So remember when I said it's gonna be interesting because of this. So we're gonna actually make the custom completion. We're gonna do get command completions, register completion. We're gonna call it custom items. So this part is important for it to be the same as it is here. I think it's case sensitive. List of strings. I'm gonna explain why I'm doing this. A list of custom items equals new array. So this is going to be the array that we're effectively storing the namespace keys into. And we're gonna do this by for map.entry of namespace key and custom item. So we're gonna basically copy that from, or not copy, but call that from the item registry. There we go. We're gonna do list of custom items dot add item. Let's call it item because it is an item. Item dot get key dot string. And we just wanna return the list of custom items. There we go. And then now we can officially register the command, and that is going to be give, of course, new give custom item executor. And now we can finally register a custom item. So we're gonna do that by item stack of material dot diamond. Let's make it a diamond sword. Item meta equals, there we go. Okay, so now what we can do is do something like this with a component, of course, but let's make a singular utilities class that's gonna be in here. Let's call it util. In here we're gonna make a lore utils class. What we're gonna do in here is public static list of components, create description lore line. We're gonna do small c because I'm okay. String description dot length less than 20. Return list of component text description style, and it's gonna be something like style dot style. This is a lot of styling. Named color, named text color dot gray. We want to do gray because this is going to be the lore, not the name. And we want to do decoration. Decoration is going to be italic false, so it's not going to be skewed. List components the array of 0 length components dot add all. Now we want to do a function. So this is basically, we want this to be a function that we call every single time we initialize lore. That is because we want to split the lore every 30 characters and then to the word. So not in the middle of the word, but wait for the word to end. So let's quickly make that. That's going to be a little bit longer. Split lore, there we go. We want to do list component result. Now let's make a comment here. If the word itself is longer than the next split the word. There we go. If word dot length is larger than the 30, which we're gonna say is the max character length, and if the current line is empty, so if it isn't empty, then we're gonna result.add component.text current line to string trim. There we go. And we're gonna do current line set length to 0. We're gonna do for I equals 0, I less than word.length, I plus equals 30. Go. Int n equals max dot minimum I plus 30 word length. So this is basically gonna check if it is the end or the beginning of the word, I guess. It doesn't matter what it checks, it's gonna be the same effect. So as create, so for this to work, we need a singular lore line function, but that is like a couple lines, so we're gonna skip it for now. Literally just skip it. We're gonna do component empty. Now over here we can do else. In the else we can do if current line dot length plus word dot length plus 1 is more than 30. Result dot add the function that we don't have yet. Current line dot set length to 0. Now out of here we can just current line append. Now after all of this we can just if current line, so this is after all of it is done, is empty, result, I can result add, we're gonna have to do another one because it's also gonna be, or again it's gonna be the function, and return the result. So there we go. This is, this is the whole function. Now we can call it here split lore, and it's gonna be the description. Now we can do the create lore line, and those are gonna be two different ones, but those are gonna be literally one-liners. And now we can call these functions with the proper. So we're in the last one. We're gonna do current line string trim. There we go. That's what we're gonna input here. In here, we're gonna do create lore line. Same thing. Trim. In here is gonna be create lore line word dot substring I end. Now you don't need to understand how this works. I get it. It's not the easiest thing to understand. It just puts the lore into a different line if it's too long. That's about it. There we go, and just return the components. So now we can finally create the item because so this is something that we made once and we'll never have to write it again. So over here, what we're gonna do, how we're gonna initialize the item is, let's do the lore first because it's gonna be a little bit longer. So lore utils create description lore line, and we're just gonna paste this because I'm honestly not in a mood to type all of this. This can be anything. I just put it here so we can see the splitting working, and the display name is create lore line, but it's gonna be test item. And we can give it a name, text color white. Okay, so we can do this. It's just that I messed up. It's supposed to be in here. There you go. So we're gonna have test item And we can set the item meta, of course. And instead of here, we're gonna do custom item dot register custom item, and we're gonna call it test name because why not, and the item sec. So that is it. We can run the server and give it a go to see if it would work. And there we go. We can now go into multiplayer, join a localhost. So this is the item that I previously had, but let's give item. And as you can see, the completion is working nicely. It gives me the test item, and there we go. So it is working right now. So guys, thank you for watching. That is about it for this tutorial. Next tutorial, we're gonna be making custom item abilities. So yeah, there you go.